All right, today I am sharing with you, it's kind of like a case study, a testimonial in a way. And it's so exciting because this is common in my experience as a coach. The majority of the people that I work with, they come to me, they do the work, and they get amazing, incredible results. So I'm going to share one story of an amazing woman that I've had the privilege of supporting and coaching and tell you how she manifested an amazing, incredible relationship. So stay tuned. You don't want. Hey, loves. My name is Kim Velez. I am a transformation manifestation coach. I used to be a trauma therapist, still am licensed, but don't practice therapy anymore. And I get the privilege of showing up every day, creating my best life, overcoming my own limitations, my own beliefs that have been programmed in me to stretch myself bigger and greater and grander. And I get the fucking privilege of supporting so many of you to do exactly the same. So today I want to dive deep because this is about manifesting the specific person, manifesting new people, manifesting a relationship that feels good, that is consistent, that is easy, that is vulnerable, that is emotionally close, that is healthy. Because so many of us, when we have low self concept, all those things we've wanted, but you never fucking had it. So I'm going to share with you how this woman did this after years of not getting any movement, any real consistency. And I'm going to share with you what and I'm actually going to bring her into one of my master classes and she's going to share because she's just so incredible. And she really is testament to what happens when you do the work, when you are consistent, when you're doing it for the correct reasons, when you understand that it isn't about information, it's actually about transformation. Woo! Shit will change. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. I'm Kim from the future here. I forgot to mention, if you want to join the Inner Child Masterclass, it's $37. It's a 2-day live event. You get access to the replays. We go live July 9th and 10th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Link is below. It will never be sold at this price again. That's what I'm telling everyone, so you know, so you can please take advantage of how cheap it is. It's going to change your life. Okay, back to the program. But I wanted to give you a little background of it too and remind you again that this can be you, that the only reason why someone has a relationship of your dreams and you don't is the belief system. So this is such a beautiful thing because this is where the emotional roller coaster ends, right? This is where the feeling not good enough ends. This is where you start actually getting what you want in the 3D when you understand and learn that it's beyond the specific person, that it isn't about you affirming to get movement outside of you. It's about you affirming to believe something different about you and what you get to experience. And so this amazing, incredible, beautiful woman came to me and she was like, listen, I've spent so much fucking money. I've been with these coaches and listen, not knocking them, but I got to call out the truth. The truth is the truth is the truth. I personally myself have invested money with different people throughout my life and it wasn't a good fit, whether it was just, their messaging was off where they were calling in the wrong type of client for the program that they offered, or they just aren't walking the walk. They don't live integrity. And there's a lot of people like that in the world, but there's also a lot of people in the world that actually practice what they preach and really are decent, amazing, incredible human beings. So you have to really be mindful about who you're listening to, and you'll understand the more work you do on yourself, why you were drawn to certain people at different points in your life, whether in all areas of your life, not only love, right? So we're understanding that whoever you're being is deciding and dictating your reality. And it's deciding and dictating the choices you're making of versions of people and experience you're accepting in your reality. So this woman had shared that. She had shared her experience. She said, listen, I've been doing all the things and met with these coaches and did this and did that. And they all kept telling me the same fucking thing. She was like, affirm for the specific person, affirm for the specific person. And she's like, I've been doing that for years. She's like, I've been doing all the things where they're like, change the story of the specific person. And she goes, and all I would get is maybe a text. She said, I would stay in the same cycle. So who in here can relate to that? Who in here is always in the same cycle? Because that is that's what I call the manifestation limbo hell, where you're stuck in the same fucking reality and nothing's shifting. And it's really annoying because you're like, I'm doing all this inner work and nothing's changing, right? Then you start really doubting even more. You compare yourself to other people's success stories. And this is what happens a lot too, is you start really believing and thinking like, well, maybe this isn't going to work for me. Maybe it works for everyone else, but not me. No, that's not true. But this is the shit that starts creeping in the mind and expanding even more when you're doing the things that aren't really going to help you transform to actually be a version of you that's in the wish fulfilled, because that's what this whole game is about. That's what living in the end is. So when she came to me, she was a little skeptical, right? But she knew, she had followed me. She just hadn't chosen to work with me until that time. So she came into my long-term coaching group with me and she signed up for the fucking year because she's amazing and incredible. And I remember our very first phone call together or in the group, she had some blind spots that she wasn't getting support with from the previous people, that they weren't noticing, that she wasn't even aware of. And just by her speaking with me, because I've done this with so many of you, I can pick up patterns really, really quick with people. And just, the first conversation of her, was very obvious to me what was going on with her. So I shared my insight and we talked about, you've been doing all the things, just not about the right person. You've been doing them for the specific person and you haven't been doing them for you. And she had been affirming self-concept, but it was a little bit here and there. And she was like, well, I feel really good right now. Like I feel worthy. I feel this, I feel that. I said, yeah, but who are you? Because we're different versions of us around different people with different experiences. So I'm like, who are you in relation to the specific person that she was manifesting? Who are you in relation to the men in your entire life that you've been, dealing with in your love life? So she was able to identify the pattern and see, right? Like, this is about me. It's not about them. And then she was really able to see why she had been stuck for so long. And she knew, she was like, I knew I was ready to work with you because I knew that this was about me changing and about me putting myself on a pedestal and reprogramming my belief to know my worth and value, which is why people come to me, because that's the key to it all, the self-concept shift. And so when she was able to see that, that's when everything just took off like wildfire. So that was the first conversation, and there was more. I'll let her tell the rest of it. And then the as we continued working, right, the SP was moving in fucking hot, coming in, telling her everything she had been affirming. She didn't get any of that this entire time until she made these shifts and changes. Telling her everything she wanted, wants to be in a relationship with her, couldn't stop thinking about her, wants to work things out with her, like, she's so amazing and incredible, blah, blah, blah. But something about her, it was so interesting because she was, dating him and seeing him, and he was saying all the right things and he was being exactly the way she always wanted. And he was doing all the things, like there wasn't anything wrong with him. But there was something in her where she said for the first time in her life, she felt so good about herself that she was like, I don't really know, like, if I want to be with him. She was like, I picked him from an old version of me many years ago, right? And she was like, there's nothing wrong with him. Like, this guy's coming in hot, giving me everything I want. But she was like, I really want to see who else is out there because I've never been this version of me dating. And this is when she said this to me, my face lit up. Because listen, if she would have said, you know what, I'm going to stay with him, he's the one I want, I'd have been like, go for it, babe. Good. Right. And I would have supported that 100%. But I love when we understand, like, if I've changed so much, and maybe and some people aren't in love with their specific persons and some people are, right? So if you're in love with your specific person and want that one back, go for it. Okay. But what I'm trying to support you with is that wasn't her story, right? Her story was like, I feel so fucking different now. She felt empowered. She felt like a goddess. She felt worthy. She knew any moment of insecurity or trigger showing up, like what was going on in her and then how to resolve it so it wouldn't default back. And she was like, I'm actually, because she had went on a dating app before the SP came back, and she was like, I'm actually like, there's a couple guys that I'm interested in. I want to date. And I'm like, go for it, baby. Like, this is when it's about you doing the choosing and not waiting around to be chosen. Like, she's over here like, I'm going to choose the suitors. Like, I have all these suitors and I get to pick out of the plethora of these incredible men. And these were versions of men that she had never experienced before because her self-concept was not the level that it was when she realized that this was the missing piece. And she started doing that work on herself. So fast forward, the running joke in the group for a while was, every week she was updating us and letting us know, like, oh my God, there's this SP and there's this one. And anytime she was triggered or anytime something was coming up, she came to group. And this is why I created the groups the way I did, because you guys you need the accountability. When you're in the transformation process, it's so important to have the support consistently and regularly. Once a month ain't fucking cutting it. Email coaching ain't cutting it when it comes to self-concept and love. You need more support and deeper transformational work. So that's why I created the program the way I did, because I've been doing this for years now and I've worked with thousands of you literally, and I've tried so many different things. And while anyone that works with me, they'll fucking shift because I know how to move people subconsciously through my methods. It's about sticking it. It's about anchoring in. It's about transforming and allowing yourself the space, you, to have the consistency and the reinforcement and the accountability so that you don't fucking slide back, because a lot of you will. So she was dating, having fun, and the running joke was like, we were calling them by their jobs, their careers, the men, because there was like a new one this week and then another one was added on, and she was like, I'm just having fun and this is like so cool. And she shared really that her entire life she had had a long marriage, and when that marriage ended and she started her dating life, none of the men were fulfilling the version she was calling in. She always felt like chasing, and she associated, right? And this is what I talked about a lot, because this is what I had to overcome myself, is when we have low self-concept, we associate love as hurt and pain. And so that is what is familiar to us, which is why we keep recreating that and manifesting that over and over, because it's our belief that says, but this is what love is for me. This is what it feels like for me. This is what I'm worthy of having. Even though we want more consistency, we want to be supported, nurtured, and committed to, when we aren't used to receiving what we want, you'll subconsciously sabotage it. It's like impossible. It's not normal to you. So she was like, I really want to, be in this goddess self and just really enjoy myself and see what comes up for me and date all these different versions of these high caliber men that she wasn't used to dating in the past. So anyways, she just kept doing the work on herself, and she was so open to being obviously coached, and really was so bringing the right questions and following through, because that's the key. I can shine the bright light on your blind spots all day long, but if you don't follow through with the suggestions, nothing's going to change for you, right? Because it's about you changing you. I can't go inside your brain and change you. I can just shine a mirror and that bright light and, point out things and give you suggestions and support and remind you of who you say you want to be. So she did all of it. She kept doing it. And then she decided through that process, and this was, I think it was like a couple weeks, maybe a month or two, that she really just wasn't interested in SP, even though he wasn't doing anything wrong. She had changed so much. She's like, this is not the one for me. So she released him. She had a couple others she was dating, and then she decided they're on one. So she chose the one that she wanted, and she's been allowing it to unfold. And I think that they have been together now maybe 3-4 months, maybe longer. And he's amazing to her. And they have a very normal, healthy relationship, which is not what she's ever been used to, where he's taking her away on vacations. He's met her family. He's very consistent with her. In fact, he wanted to see her more than she was like, I just, I don't want to see you that much. And it wasn't because like she doesn't like him and care for him and enjoy his company. She was just like, I'm living my best life. Like, I think it's great. They're seeing each other a couple times a week. She's like, I'm good right now. But it's just beautiful. It's like she has this man who's emotionally available, who works on himself, who has a great career, who puts effort in, who follows through with what he says, who is like there for her constantly, who cares about her, who is, saying like, wow, like this feels good. Like I want to continue this with you. And he's dating her and showing up for her the way everybody deserves to have, right? The way you deserve to have. So look at yourself in your life. Where are you settling, right? What versions of people are you still dealing with and entangled with that are, lowering your standards and are offering you lower standards, and you're accepting those lower standards, because that is not how you manifest the love that you want. That not from an SP or anyone else, because you're still the same you. And so I just wanted to share this story because I get this a lot. This is very common in my world. I had another client recently who got the commitment. She was on one of my master classes, and she got the commitment she wanted the first time she'd ever been committed to. And the SP she wanted fucking committed to her, because they do the work. They understand that this is about them transforming because they're the creator of their experience. No one else is creating their experience except them. So it's about us changing inside so we can get a different reflection. So you can do this too. You want to make this beyond specific person. You want to make this more about you. Obviously, you could still affirm for a specific person, but it's putting that off the fucking pedestal. And if you're obsessing about them, but you're doing it in a way of, I need them to be different. I want this so badly. Baby, you ain't changed. You ain't changed. You ain't changed. And if you ain't changed, you ain't going to see change in your reality. That's the piece people keep missing. So I love you all. She can do it. So can you. You just got to commit to you. And that's usually the missing piece, is you're trying to commit to getting something outside of you, but you're not making a commitment to you. If you are interested and want to work with me, the link to that group, the year-long group that I have, is below. If you want to, partake, my website's working again. I had malware on it and manifested it to come back together so easily. In the beginning, it was like a hot fucking mess. And I said, you know what? I don't know. It's going to fix itself. I can't be stressing about this. Like, it'll be up and running. It's going to smooth itself out. And literally overnight, when I had multiple weeks of like all this 3D evidence that was showing me, like, basically my website was down. They lost it. They weren't sure if they could get it back. Then when they got it back, I had to go through all these things. I had over 207 viruses on it because I didn't have it protected the right way, because I never had this issue before. And how many years have I had a website? Like 8 years. Because it used to be, I had a website with my therapy website too, and then obviously with the coaching one. So anyways, got the website back working, and it just happened overnight. Like, basically for weeks they were saying all this, and I said, you know what? No, fuck that. No. And so I moved myself into the version of me where I'm like, what would it feel like if my website was back up and running, no problem, right? And I just shifted in that, and I didn't try to control it. I wasn't affirming to make it different. I mean, I did a little bit here and there, but it wasn't oh, I need this to work, right? I need my website to be different. I used a link tree in the interim. And literally at some point when I was on the phone with the website people that I had already been on with probably like 10 times in like 2 weeks of trying to, this was the messy middle of the 3D where it seemed like nothing was going right with my website. I didn't let that person, sway me. I didn't let that make me believe that this is all lost. I said, no, it's going to work out. I don't know how, but it'll figure itself out. And then one phone call, I was with the website people, and I'm like, look, can you go in and fix this for me, or test this thing or whatever? And they did it for me, and boom, it was back up. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now it's protected beyond belief. I have so much security shit around it, and it's working. So link is below. Anyways, I wanted to share that too, because it's a little mini manifestation. I love you guys. You can do this. Don't give up on you. This is not about them. It's about you and your life and your relationships. And if you want to be someone that one day you're going to be in the relationship of your dreams, rather than wishing and wondering and thinking, is this going to work for me? It is, if you do the work on you. All right. I love you guys. Bye.